now to introduce tonight's distinguished guests. James Huniford, or Ford to anybody who's anybody, is the founder of Hunniford Design Studio, a premier interior design outfit based in New York City. His latest project is James Huniford at Home, an in-depth look at his design process, especially his skillful juxtaposition of design opposites, contemporary and traditional, rustic and refined, to create timeless, classic interiors. His work has been featured in Architectural Digest, Elle Decor, and Veranda, among others. In conversation with Ford this evening is Lorraine Bracco, film and television actress who's been nominated for the Academy Award, 4 Emmy Awards, 4 Golden Globes, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards. You may recognize her from The Sopranos, or for all you HGTV fans, from My Big Italian Adventure, a series in which Lorraine embarks on the adventure of a lifetime to renovate a 200-year-old home she purchased for the whopping total of €1. Thank you both for joining us this evening. And now, without further ado, James Huniford and Lorraine Bracco.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Ford. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All good.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in BookHampton.
Wow. Your gorgeous living room?
Yes, that you very nicely put together for me.
Well, I had a lot to work with.
That's very kind. Well, we're both a little bit the same with the juxtaposition of furniture and objects. We both love that.
Yes.
I love that about your interiors.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, so much of my interiors, I think, I feel that connection with you also by your, incredible collections of furnishings of over the years that you've traveled with and accumulated with, from your house in Sneedon's Landing to LA to, New York.
Yes. Well, and I've, but I think that it's a acquired taste. Is that Linda? Is that Linda? Oh, I can't hear her, but I think it's Linda.
Where's Linda?
I don't know. We lost her, but I did see her.
Oh, how do I see who's on, maybe?
Anyway, let's go back to the fact that you love unusual objects and you see the beauty in something that was probably something that somebody used to work with their hands, whether it's a rake, or we were talking about the wheat. What do you call them again?
The sifters, or the cranberry rake.
Yes, I love that you love that and see a beauty in that. I scour to find things like that.
And, I grew up in upstate New York, and I think being around kind of nature and agricultural and elements, and it was always just kind of something that was inspiring to me. And I love that kind of combination of something that's very refined and very rugged.
And also at a time very useful.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that you find the beauty in something that's been used and worn and needed.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that about a lot of your. Here's a perfect example. Is that a church bench over there?
It's actually a bench that's from the 18th century that's was put in front of a fireplace to keep you warm, and the whole back of it's all charred.
Because that's what yes, I have a table like that you could flip open.
Yes.
Comes up. You have the table, and then the back comes up, and they did that to keep to keep warm.
Yes. Yeah, it's called a settle, I think.
Only you would know that word.
Well,
Okay.
And then that object above that bench is an architectural element from an old house in Maine that I hung on the wall like a sculpture.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. I love so many of. And what's this little thing in front of the lamp?
It's a 1950s sculpture from Northern California that I found at a shop out there, an amazing shop called Wyeth, that I actually just loved. And I love that kind of, it almost looks Japanese.
It does. It looks like a flower.
Yes.
I love it. I love the shade too that you put on that lamp.
Yeah, it's mica, which is a mineral. You know, it's really such a rarefied thing and so unique, and also gives this incredibly warm light at night.
I think I need that.
Yeah, they're great. Okay, go ahead.
I love this house.
Yeah, this is a house in Watermill. It's a
Yes?
Yeah, it's a house in Watermill, which is right around the corner from you. And it was inspired from a barn to kind of create this double height sensibility. And, you know, it's very like inviting. The sculpture above the fireplace was something I made out of some lucite boxes, and then had a car mechanic paint them with a copper car paint.
And what's with the chandelier?
It's galvanized metal. It's pounded and rusted. And I just love that volume, the strength of just, you know, hanging from the ceiling like floating.
I do too. I love
You
it.
could have one.
I love the fact that you incorporated outside as much as inside.
Yeah, you know, I think that's a big way. You know, I know you have that, you know, gorgeous property with those incredible patios and decks off of your living room, and how I constantly, you know, go at it with you about get that chair out of the front of that door so people can walk outside and see all that. So it's the same sensibility.
I love it. And it's, you know, it's LA Hampton.
Exactly. Yes.
It definitely has that feel.
Yeah, you know, this is really a warm-up for our new show, Lorraine.
Okay.
It's called Knocking on Your Door.
Well, you know, it's funny. I love a fireplace. I'm a big fireplace girl. I have the fire going all the time. And I love that you have all that wood stacked up beautifully, by the way.
Yeah, I like that kind of accessibility that you don't have to, you know, it actually gets used.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. This is fabulous. I love the ceiling. Let's start with that.
You know, when this is a very kind of compact house. When I started this project, it was 3 different rooms downstairs with a sheetrock ceiling, and it's for a young family with 2 kids. And I just saw the potential to kind of make it feel open and airy and loft-like. And, you know, like all those beams in the ceiling, they're all not the same width, but for me, it was like the imperfection is what I really liked about that kind of thing. And then making the floors light and, you know, the more traditional fireplace.
What do you call those floors? Color of the floors? Pickled?
Yeah, yes, they're like a pickled sand color.
Mm,
Yes.
I like it. And can we just, there's a couple things I have to talk to you about. First of all, the fireplace and irons.
Right.
What? I love them.
Yeah, I love those. I actually bought them in Hudson, New York. And I made those bookshelves out of plumbing pipes and old reclaimed wood.
Okay, you didn't give me a chance to get there, but I love that too. I think they're fabulous fun.
Thank you.
It's a great house. It's a great room.
Yeah.
It's inviting. What's with the sconces?
They're Italian from the 50s.
My favorite.
Yes, Italian.
I love it. All right. Okay, so besides Elizabeth, first of all, there's those fabulous lampshades, which I need tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's talk about that piece, whatever that piece is next to Liz.
It's actually a cranberry rake that I found. It's galvanized metal, and I just wanted to hang it on the wall like a sculpture.
I think it's fabulous. And what's with this painting in the other room?
That is a advertising sign from the side of a truck from the WPA that was kind of cut off, and then I hung it on the wall like a sculpture.
I love it. It goes so well in this room. It just is warm and inviting, and even that it's metal and rusty and everything. I love that you use things like this.
Yeah, I think it's important that a house has a personality and a point of view of the people who live there. And this house in particular was for one of my first clients when I started on my own. And the clients at first didn't want to hire me. And the husband called me to say he wasn't going to hire me. And I said, well, I think you're making a mistake. And I'm going to drive out to East Hampton and have a meeting with you to talk to you. And he had the check for the people that he was going to hire and the signed contract in an envelope sitting on his desk. And by the time we finished our meeting, he tore it up and said, you're right, I'm going to hire you. So it was kind of one of those great moments. You've had many, many, many of them in your career. And for me, it was just unbelievable that I was on my way.
Yes, how nice. And he saw that and felt that.
Yes. Yeah, and he was an amazing man. Yeah.
And we love the Warhol of Liz.
Yes.
Right? It's Liz, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
Go ahead.
And
whoops.
That's cool. I love this room. Tell me about the artwork.
There's some prints that, I think we found on eBay for not a lot of money. And I love that color. I think you and I both love turquoise and blue. And it was just something I was drawn to, and it just had a lot of impact for the room, which, I think is a great example of interiors don't always have to be, everything doesn't have to be like expected or expensive. It could be more unusual in the way it's approached.
I agree. And I think it's so important, and it really reveals who the people who own this house are.
Yes.
I think that's great. What's that middle piece?
The on the right with the plant?
I want both, but go ahead, right?
No, it's just something I found at like a garage sale out there. And I thought it was a great stand.
I love it. And the middle piece?
What one?
The middle.
Oh, that's a coffee table by a French designer named Roger Capron from Saint-Tropez. He did a lot of that tile furniture in the 50s and 60s.
Love that. And what's the name of the designer of the plastic chairs?
It'll come to me. I can't remember. Herman Miller makes them now, so.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. It's lovely. I love the unexpected wallpaper.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to have that kind of funky English sensibility. This is a 100-year-old potato barn in Sagaponack. And I love that sensibility.
I love the floors. I mean, you can't beat that, right?
Yeah, and it's conveniently located across the street from Loaves and Fishes.
Which is great, because then you could just get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right, and get rid of your kitchen.
True, that's true. And
Yeah.
what panels, is that a door or, oh yeah, it looks
It's a sliding old barn door.
fabulous. How beautiful. That's a gorgeous little room.
Good, thank you.
Love it.
This is just pretty, found objects.
So the wine or olive oil, I think it's wine, the glass, what do you want to call that?
The jar.
Jar. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have several of them, and I used to put all my coins in them. And then we went to pick it up, and it broke. So
Oh, wow.
put your money in there.
Okay. I'll put that on the Christmas list for you.
Yeah. So, and what's with the things on the walls?
They're just kind of found objects that, to make a composition of something that's unique.
It's charming.
Thank you.
Charming. Well, this is your house.
Yes.
So tell everyone what the round things are.
They're, actually hoops, and I found them at a Brimfield, which you know very well in Massachusetts. It's an amazing fair that's 3 times a year. And actually, when I bought this house, that room was the woman's bedroom who lived there prior to me. And it had about a 7-foot drop ceiling. And then I opened it up and it created this kind of magic of this expanse. And it's not a particularly big room. It's kind of narrow, but, doing that changed everything.
How much do you love when you go into a house and you all of a sudden break the ceiling open or a door or a window or a wall and you find a gem?
I love doing that. I mean, space planning is one of my big, something I really love.
Well, this is just architecturally beautiful.
Thank you. Okay.
I know that room well.
Yes. That's just a little detail of the tailored kind of sensibility of a sofa arm and how it can be modern or traditional.
Yep. It's lovely. It's charming. I love the colors. They're so inviting. So I love these beds. They're the old.
Yes.
Do they have like the rope under them?
They did originally, yes. And you're so right. And then I built those wooden frames underneath them to support a mattress.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
I love them. I love the blankets.
Yeah, I love those. I don't know where they're from, but I think they're from Indiana.
They're lovely. And what's on the wall, on the 2 walls?
On the left, it's just some little wooden boxes that I found and just thought it would be an interesting sculpture. There's an artist named Donald Judd, whose work I love, who works a lot with boxes and stacks, and that's what kind of inspired me to go in that way.
Love it. And the painting?
It's by a contemporary artist. It reminded me of 2 eggs, which I kind of like that idea of the way they kind of like interacted with each other.
I was going to say 2 stones.
Okay. It could be like me and you with our heads on each other.
To each his own with my gray hair.
Exactly. You look gorgeous.
I love the desk. The chair is fabulous. Fabulous. Love it.
I wish we could expand this to see the back of your gorgeous room.
I don't know how to do that. All right. Let's talk about, first of all, love the table.
Thank you. It's a bluestone table that I designed that's modeled after a 19th century reflectory table. And it took like 8 guys to get it in. And I definitely had to make sure that the floor was reinforced. It didn't fall through to the basement.
By the way, I had to do that in Italy in all the floors.
Really?
They were very worried.
Wow.
Yeah. Force everything. Anyway, back to you.
I want to hear about your renovation.
I love the mirror.
The mirror I love. It's a bullseye mirror, so it gives this incredible reflection. And I love that sensibility in a dining room to have the candlelight at night, and kind of have that frame that's from an airplane engine that was about 5 feet in diameter. So it's really huge.
Wow. And heavy?
It's not that heavy. It's galvanized metal.
Okay. And as usual, Ford, as I've had many, many lunches and dinners, your plates and napkins and glasses, so lovely. It's always has a charm, a homey country feel to it. And I love the candlesticks.
Yeah, those I love also. They're not meant, I don't know what they're originally meant to be, but I find them and make them into candlesticks.
Cool. I love everything about this little room. I love all of the wheat. What are they again?
They're grain sifters.
Grain sifters. I knew that.
Yes.
I love the drop leaf table. What's it made out of? And its beautiful little legs.
Yeah, it's a very kind of, it was in the clients in their previous house in their dining room. And the bluestone table is what I designed for their new house for that dining room. But I love this table. It's a walnut and it's a drop leaf table. And then the two chairs are old shoe cobblers chairs that people used to sit in to get their shoes shine.
Oh, they're so great. And I love that they're mismatched.
You know what they say, mixed but not matched.
I love it. I love it. And what's with the lamp?
It's a lamp that it was a vase from Morocco, and I just like the idea of making it into a lamp.
And there's iron things. What's that?
Just some found objects.
Love it. I think it looks beautiful. Just beautiful.
Oh.
I know that room. So, first of all, everything in this room is unexpected.
Right.
So the huge boat chain?
Yes. Yeah, it's from the San Juan Islands, and it's actually wood.
Right. But it's that Cartier chain.
Exactly. Yes. High and low.
High and low. I love it. And of course, let's talk about the wood, the two wood pieces.
Yeah, those are from Western New York State, and I actually was at a antique show in East Hampton for the Historical Society, and I saw them, and I was at a preview where you pay, a premium to go the day before, and I saw them from this great folk art dealer, and I just said, wow, I have to have those. And I just love them. To me, they kind of look like dancing, just dancing. I love the movement.
I agree. I love that you use the chair as a nightstand.
Yeah, the chairs, it's a Fleecemose chair from the 19th century that was owned by Bill Blass.
Wow.
Yeah, provenance.
Wow, we love that.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love the ceiling. I love the white brick.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good inspiration for your next house.
The white brick?
The white brick and the yellow. I love the yellow and kind of that orangey colored wood.
Yeah, I love it too.
That's good.
I love it. So this is the that warehouse, right?
Yeah, it's the watch case in Sag Harbor. And they did an amazing job converting that. And I think the great thing about it was it gave people an opportunity to be in the Hamptons and have all these amenities and not have to deal with the upkeep of maintaining the house and a property. And it was just, a great alternative of what the developers out there did. And I think it's kind of like snowballed with other cities and other resort communities that are thinking this way.
Well, this happens to be fabulous. How tall are these ceilings?
They're like 14 feet tall.
No, it's beautiful. And Did the ceilings, did they come with the wood ceilings like that, beams, or did you
They
do?
did. Yeah, the developer did an amazing job doing that.
Well, not everybody does do that, but
Yeah.
that's fabulous. That
Yes.
was find.
Yes.
Fabulous. Love it. I know where that is. Well, I love the sconce.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a shade, it's not a this, but it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's from a great dealer in LA, which you probably know very well, Obsolete, they just have incredible things and they find amazing things. And they used to be in Venice and now they moved to a bigger showroom and, they just have an amazing eye.
Well, you do too, my love.
Well, thank you.
All right, now let's talk about the slatted door on the ceiling.
Yeah. There was a great Jeff Bridges and Kim Basinger movie called Door in the Floor. So this is like door in the ceiling.
Love it.
There's kind of an ugly return air vent above that was big.
By the
And
way,
I thought,
have.
I'm sorry.
We all have.
Yeah. So I thought this was an interesting way to, the ceilings up there are not that tall, and it had a big impact. And so I thought this was a way to kind of camouflage it and make something of interest.
And also because it's slatted, it still is able to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes. Yes.
Like you. See, that's like you. See?
Yeah.
I love it. I love everything about this. And the maps are?
The maps are up Long Island, the coastline.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Just beautiful. This is Ford Pretty.
This is Ford Pretty. The softer side of Sears is what I call it. This is for a really sweet couple that I worked for that has 2 adult children and 6 grandchildren. And they made this house for all of them to be together in the summer. And they're just, like lovely people. And I'll never forget, the client was at my house and no, she was at the office and she was with her husband and she was very good at making decisions and knew exactly what she wants. And she said to me, come on, let's just pick out all these things. And she looked at her husband and she said, come on, David, I want to go buy a new car before lunch and Ford knows what I like and let's just go. And it was just like one of those things that was, a New York moment of such a great feeling.
Well, she trusted you.
Yes. Yeah. And she knew what she liked and what she didn't like. And, I knew how to stay in my lane.
And how important it is to have trust between you and your clients.
Yes. I mean, it's a creative collaboration. I think that, I want them involved. I want their opinion. And, I value their point of view because it helps me do a better job.
Sure.
It's like how I tiptoed around with you until I was like, no, that big table needs to be separated.
Yes. No, look, and you were 1,000% right.
Unless you have 18 people coming for dinner every night.
No, well, during COVID, I don't, but non-COVID times I have had, easy 50 to 70 people around here.
Exactly. And how many of them spend the night?
That's private. Next slide. That's Ford's house.
Yep.
Okay, I remember asking you about the table, but you'll have to tell everybody.
The table is a 18th century Belgian jeweler's table, where jewelry makers used to sit at those little cutouts and make jewelry, which I love that. Again, something that's repurposed or reinvented for a modern use of how, the purpose and the function of it.
And there's my shade again.
There's your shade. There's a lot of those shades around.
I love them.
Okay.
Oh, I love the seahorses. Ah. Okay, so what's with the big light bulb?
That is actually a cloche from England, which is what they use in spring to force bulbs. And it's a sculpture that I made. And in it is swordfish noses that I cut a base and then had them all put in the wooden base and made that sculpture.
I love it.
Well, you have an amazing eye to notice that, Lorraine.
Really? You didn't know that I see everything?
Yes, I do, but you know, it's I never thought of it as a light bulb before.
Well, you know, that's my Brooklyn in me. I love the old sign in the back.
Yes, that's from the other side of the truck that was in the other house in East Hampton.
Oh, very cool. And so the chair is a Windsor.
Yes, it's a reproduction Windsor chair, but I love that kind of, you know, the black, the color, and the way it complements the contrast of the wall color and the chocolate brown and the floor.
Yep, beautiful. And what's the gray piece?
It's from an old post office, and all those little cupboards kind of like flop down.
I love it. And the table and bench?
The table I designed and had made out of old wood, and the benches I found in San Francisco from a dealer called March, who now pretty much sells the most amazing kitchen items anywhere in the U.S. Just incredible taste, and I bought them from them when they had more antiques, and now they have more kitchen things.
Cool, it's fabulous. I have to say though, the seahorses just, I think, are fabulous.
Yeah, you know, I love that playfulness.
Me too. Love it. There's your kitchen.
And you know, like your house, it all happens in the kitchen, Lorraine.
Everything. It's so crazy. I don't know why we have any other rooms, to tell you the truth.
I know. How was it to design those kitchens in Italy?
Great fun. I mean, I had a lot of room, and what I did was, you know, like everyone here, I wanted a prep kitchen. So that's where I put all the coffee makers and the mixers and the all the toasters, toaster ovens. I put everything in that room, so that when you come to the kitchen, you do have a sink, and you have the table, and then I always call it the Balaban pantry.
Right.
I made like where you put all the glasses and liquor and stuff like that. I mean, I made 3 rooms out of the kitchen, kind of.
And was there an eat-in space or a dining space or a sofa in it, or?
Well, we could. I mean, I could put. You know, there is the table and chairs in one part of the living in the kitchen, but you could. You know, there's benches and stuff in the, I call it the prep kitchen. And if you wanted to eat in there, you could do that.
Wow.
So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You'll be proud of me.
I'm waiting for my invitation when we can travel again.
When we can travel again is, you know, the story of my life right now.
And since we both love kitchens, do you find that the kind of food you cook in Bridgehampton is different than the kind of food that you cook at your house in Italy or LA?
Well, the truth of the matter is I've not really been able to use the house in Italy. I was going in March, and because of COVID, I did not travel. So
Right.
I'm there for a year in Italy. So I don't really know what I'm going to cook over there. But yeah, I cook the same, kind of the same wherever I am. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy baking. I baked all day today.
Wow. What did you bake?
Biscotti.
Oh, wow. Miniature or large?
Lodge. By the way, mine are award-winning biscottis.
Oh, really? Do I feel a new product being launched soon?
I don't know, but you'll come and taste. You'll tell me.
Rocco's Biscotti?
I'd love it. All right. Well, we love a bathtub. See, like in Italy, that's what they did too. They put all the pipes inside the walls.
Right.
For the toilet, for the tub, for everything. And I was like, oh my God, what happens when you have a leak? And they were like, yeah, we just break it open and fix it. I was like,
Right.
oh, fine. So yes, this is so charming and lovely. And I know that's not a towel rack, but can become one.
Yeah, it's for wine bottles, I think. Drying them.
Love it. Love it. Oh, she's so pretty.
This is part of that other house that was 3 rooms that I kind of converted into one. And, you know, it was not a particularly big house, but it's a very functional and compact house for a young family. And, you know, I think that was the opportunity to kind of create this kind of white, summery sensibility.
Charming.
And to not have to have recessed lights and have those schoolhouse lights to create some more, you know, another element on the ceiling that was like bringing your eye to another place.
Absolutely. Love it.
It's a kitchen that you could be totally comfortable in.
I love the simplicity of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the floors. Are they pickled?
They are pickled, kind of a bleached whitewash.
I like it. I like that. All right.
All right. So
Is that it?
that's all the pictures. Now you're going to show us yours, right?
What, my house?
What'd you say, Ryan?
Do we have any questions?
We sure do.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
I'm gonna jump back in here because we've talked so much about the decorative objects that you include in your homes, Ford. You have such a good eye for art and decorative objects. I know you talked a little bit about Brimfield, but what's the process look like for finding objects like this?
You know, I think in today's world, it's all about being curious and going through, you know, different. Brimfield is an amazing source in person to go to in Massachusetts. It's an amazing fair that happens 3 times a year. That's just, you know, an adventure beyond words. And there's one in High Point now also, and another one in Texas called Round Top. And you know, also the internet, I think First Dibs, and so many different outlets to find things that are unusual, to kind of create your home, to have that personality of how you live and who you are.
Your
Absolutely.
pair of sneakers
What?
to walk around Brimfield.
Yes. Yeah, and winter clothes, because it's always cold when you're there in May and rainy.
Boots.
Yes.
Boots. And so you talk a little bit about personality. How do you talk a client into something that's unfamiliar?
You know, I think it's about it's not really about talking them into something. It's about a dialogue and a conversation that happens over time to kind of set up the playing field of the sensibility of the house, the sensibility of the client, how they live, and you help kind of write a story that way to kind of get it all figured out. And I think that's part of my job, to create a home for my clients and how they live, and not who I think they are, or, you know, who I think how they should live.
Lorraine, would you say that's accurate?
Yes, totally accurate. Totally.
Yeah, that's how the process went, guys as you were designing your home?
Well, Ford came in over the summer and literally zhuzhed the house, moved furniture, and basically, he gave it a breath of fresh air.
I mean, Lorraine is her own designer. She's brilliantly creative. She's brilliantly talented. When I pull in that driveway now, her house guests run because they say, oh no, he's going to make us move furniture. We can't carry another armoire out and put it over there.
That's true. And for some reason, everything I own is very heavy. I don't know why.
She's very practical. She thinks there's going to be an earthquake in Bridgehampton.
But Ford literally gave the whole house and outside a breath of fresh air. And it was cute because when Stella had come into the living room, she was like, oh, I love this. It looks so much better. And I said, well, Ford was here. So she said, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Lorraine and I first met through our friend Rico, who is an amazing Pilates instructor.
True.
And, that's how we first met, overlapping at appointments. I would get a double session because she, had a late night the night before and didn't come.
Liar. Really? But meanwhile, we nicknamed ourselves Ford large, I'm medium, and Enrico is small.
So there you go.
We're always like, what's small doing? Where's large?
How's medium?
Oh my gosh, how fun. So about your book, Ford, it's a different type of interior monograph.
James Huniford at home.
James Huniford at home. Can you talk a bit about how you came up with the format? And do you have a favorite chapter?
I came up with the format. Lorraine is a really close friend of mine. She has a strong point of view, as I said, but she stays in her own lane and she knows what she wants. And for me, because of what I do, it was kind of so helpful for me to think about how I wanted it to, have the book be and the chapters, and working with Stephen Treffinger, the writer, who is just brilliant and talented, and kind of helped me figure it out. And I think it's a collaboration of, not necessarily, I'm not a greatest hit coffee table kind of guy. It's a much more hands-on, it's much more approachable. It's for everyday kind of people. And, I think it's about dreaming and creating magic in your home, and kind of seeing the opportunity. And that's part of my job, to create opportunity or a new platform for people to see how they can live in a different way.
Which is what Ford did to me.
Absolutely. Well, especially with so many people moving inward and spending more time in the home, I think people are definitely thinking about interior design, if at all. I mean, I'm sure many people hadn't really taken a look around their homes and thought, hey, what would happen if I just moved furniture in a different organization? So that's, I think, a really important thing to bring to the industry, to talk about interior design as an approachable sort of activity almost. So to talk about COVID a little bit, because we got to talk about it, right? How has the pandemic affected the way you approach designing a home? Have you been designing?
Yeah, I mean, my studio stayed open, as far as a lot of us were working remotely, and structured things that way, and having Zoom presentations. And, I think people's needs have gotten more clarified of how they're going to live in a room, how they're going to function in their kitchen to not only cook in it, but maybe work in it, to have their office. And, making sure that a sofa they have in their living room, where they spend a lot more time now, is comfortable, not just pretty. And, I think being practical also of how you use the space. So the opportunity when you're at home working during the day, do you want to, be at a desk looking at a wall, or looking outside with a window with a gorgeous view, or daylight? I also think color and has changed for energy, and to feel, things are a little bit, you want a calm environment. I've never been one of particularly bright, jumpy colors. I like calm, and I think now more than ever, creating calm is what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, and it's like you almost know what the questions are that have come in from our audience members, because one of them is that you use a lot of neutrals. Would you use bright colors in design, and how might you recommend, for somebody who does enjoy brighter colors, to infuse them into their everyday?
Yeah, I recently, finished a house in upstate New York for my friends Josh Lear and Jeffrey Seller. And we were in London a few years ago and stayed at a hotel where there's a lot of color and a lot of pattern on pattern and paisley on check and stripes with print, and kind of influenced me to kind of take things in a different direction in their house, in a bohemian sensibility. But like in their den, the side tables are lacquered tomato red, and I used a print fabric on the sofa body, and then the cushions were a contrasting color. And I think that's how I use color, not necessarily on walls, bright colors, that's not my thing, but I think in elements or things that are more sculptural or about shape or form. What do you think, Lorraine?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, look, you definitely are of more of a neutral palette in most of your work.
Right.
But then, you'll come over with the most gorgeous orange, bright orange bouquet of flowers. and that is your subtle way of bringing in color. But I didn't see their place yet, but I'm sure that, I just know what you do and how you do it, and I'm sure it's fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very similar to your setting. When your house was in Sneeden's Landing, overlooking the Hudson, their house is up there. It's overlooking this amazing lake, and it's up high, and the views and the lights. I think that's a big part of how you live. Also, the light in your house,
Yes.
In Bridgehampton is amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
And so, Lorraine, I'd love to hear a little bit more about we touched on it. I know you haven't been to Italy too much with COVID, but if you could talk a little bit about your experience with your renovation over in Italy.
So I always say to everyone, they were like, "Oh my God, you bought one of those €1 houses." And I go, "Yes, €1 house my ass," because it was a dump. And it's something I never did before. I know Ford's done this tons of times, but it was from the ground up. And one of the things, we had to do is a lot of structural work so that everything didn't fall down, especially in the kitchen, especially because I put back all of the beautiful old 100-year-old tiles that we had found in the house. I kept everything reclaimed. I put all the windows, all the doors, everything, the ceiling beams, everything was reclaimed wood. And instead of, which I'm sure we don't do here because it's not very cost effective, but we would find windows and then they would make it fit, or doors, and then they would make them fit, around the old doors for the closets or for outside. It was an adventure. I will definitely give you that.
Would you do it again?
Yes, I would. I would, because I was so lucky. The people were fantastic. They took such pride. All of the people who worked on the house, whether they were carpenters or painters or plumbers or electricians. You know, I got to go to shop in Palermo. I bought all 1970s and 50s old Murano chandeliers. You know, the electricians are like, you know, it was funny. They were like, what do you want all this old stuff for? I'd be like, oh my God, you should only know. They thought sometimes I was a little crazy, and because I put all windows or French doors into the in the bathrooms that would lead out to a terrace or a little garden or whatever, and they were like, "Oh my God, she's crazy! How does she put doors in a bathroom?" Windows in a bathroom. It was funny the things that they thought were just useless, I guess. They thought sometimes I was a little crazy, but it turned out to be really charming and lovely.
And was that something you always aspired to do, to get a house in Italy and do a total ground up project?
No, never in my life did I ever think that I would do this. No.
And how was that, you know, a different outlet for you as an artist and a creative person from your, you know, acting career versus, you know, doing that kind of thing?
You know, I think when you're an artist, and this goes for you too, anyone who has any artistic qualities, that reaches out to other things, whether you're a singer or a dancer, whether you can read poetry, whether you paint. You know, when you're an artist, you know how to make art.
Right. I mean, that's a brilliant, brilliant way to look at, you know, the world today and all the challenges, that you have that philosophy and that kind of sensibility approach that, you know, I think has always been inspiring for me since day one when we met, that you had that sense of freedom and encouragement that, you know, I think everything you touch is just magic because of the way you know, you live your life and you've raised your incredible daughters. And, you know, I just feel so fortunate to be, you know, in the lineup of people that you've touched.
Well, you know, Ford, the thing that I adore about you, you have two fabulous children, Jack and Ava. The fact that you are a single man, wanted children, and did it. I mean, I have always been a kid advocate.
Right.
Kids are fabulous. I think that they keep you very grounded, very truthful,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Right.
And I adore your children.
Thank you.
The way you love mine.
Well, they love you. You're such a influence and impact to them of, you know,
Yeah, but
they're both kind of around just listening.
it's great. I love when the kids come over. I love when Ava comes over.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the kids. I think they're very important.
They are. You know, I think also having a family helps understand, you know, how people, you know, live and things that are important and functional.
Sure. And that's very important for you.
Yes.
I think, yes.
Yes.
Changes.
Change it.
Huge.
Well,
Yeah.
what a beautiful note, I think, to end on this evening. I want to thank you both, Lorraine and Ford, for joining us this evening. This has been so
Thank
fun.
you.
And I want to remind everyone to pick up a copy of
Yes. James Huniford at Home, published by Monticelli. Stephen Treffinger, the brilliant writer, with Pilar Velati's doing the introduction. And I'm just so grateful to Lorraine Bracco for being in my life and doing this. So thank you, Lorraine.
My pleasure, Ford, anytime.